City Marketing. Okay, tradingperform@gmail.com. $100 for the first month, $2.99 every month. After the first month, full membership, giving you access to the team and the TMP algos. Cancel anytime. Okay, so the first thing that would be very helpful that I'm asking is some guys that used to be in the room that left for Matt have gotten very nasty and left some ugly responses on my YouTube channel. So I blocked them. They're not there anymore. But if some people could give some positive comments on some of the videos, it would help and I would appreciate it. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything not true. Just if you have something positive to say and you watch one of the videos, I'd appreciate it. Those kids, guys, whatever you want to say, are kind of being asses. So that's all right. That streak goes two ways, but I don't have time to mess with them. So next, what's paying the best all week long last week is when you get the trap. I want to reiterate why it's important. All right. When you get a trap that involves an arrow on the left, okay, and then apex traps, you're getting big extensions, 60 to 88. 37 to 36. It's more than covering your stops, right? Now I know that there's challenges in there. How do I size it correctly? What do I do, etc., etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is go in and cover the nuances of it. So here's where I get in trouble with members in the room. I will be taking trades personally that are not in this formula, right? But here's what's happened to me long term, right? Here's what's happened to me long term. After I go past the basic entry, right, people go, well, what are you doing, Simon? How are you doing that, right? And they want to know. But then when they know, they want to emulate it, and they can't. And then they get mad or frustrated, and they leave the room, right? So while the room is open, all you're going to see me say is apex trap on 24 with an arrow on the left. Now, anyone I'm coaching, anyone who reaches out to me and wants to know, hey, what are the additional trades you're taking? I will teach them. But it becomes very hard, right? It becomes very hard when the feedback is too many setups, right? And on the flip side, I want to know the setups, right? So here's very simple what our setup is. You have to have an arrow on the left. The arrow tells you they're pushing hard, right? They get stuffed. They come back. They try to make a breakout. The best trade is when it's a close just like that. Cleanly above, close back in. The wicks are fine, they do work, but they don't work as when we close above and close back in cleanly. That's the trade. That's the trade I'll be tracking. That's the trade I'm running. That's the trade that the people who've made the most amount of money in this room have been trading, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm going to give a few examples of why that's important, even if that's not the only setup you're running. And I'm going to explain right now, okay? If you wait for the apex trap, and you go, okay, we're apex trapped. First of all, the stop's about 20 points on this, 15 to 20. Hold on a sec. Okay, 15 to 20, right? So you have a couple of answers that you can do here. First of all, the arrow down after it traps off this formal trap tends to work very, very well. It's a place for an ad, right? So here, I'll show you. This is a correct trap. This is where the trap back in occurs. This is where the arrow up is. Okay, so you have a bunch of options there. You go to the 15 tick to get your trade from there. You can wait for the pullback off the original trap and add to the trade. From there, there's a lot of options. But the key there is strategically, hey, I've got the best trap available. Now let me go to work on the rest of my trades so I get paid, right? So this will not capture every move. There'll be some moves where it also works well with the tweezers top and bottom. You already know what that is, right? And just keep taking if you keep focusing on that trade, everything else that I've taught you to this point will work better after you have that trap. Let me give you a few examples. Okay, this is 11:44 during lunch, right? Here's the arrow, has to be within 3, that qualifies. Here's the orthodox close below. Here's the trap. Here's the bar with the point of control above the arrow down. Here's the first pink bar. Here's the second pink bar. Okay? So, no matter which entry you chose or how you chose to manage that trade, all of them worked. If you roll over to the 15 tick at that same time frame, I'm not mad at anyone, by the way. I just want everyone to make money. That's all I care about, right? So if you look over here, you could go, oh, I've got the trap. Here's my arrow down on the 15. Here's my point of control above. Lift, corresponding with the trap on the 24. The pullback, the arrow up on the 15 tick. If you'll just wait for that, you're going to miss some trades. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be some times where it traps, it doesn't work, right? Over here, right? How would this work? Here we go. There's your arrow up. There's your apex. There's your orthodox close above. So what would you do here? So this is, let me copy the screen over. F5, number 3. Okay, so now you are trapped back in on the 24 right here. Okay, that's where the trap back in occurs. First arrow down rolls to the downside. First arrow, remember the trap occurs, this is where you're finished, where you go, oh, we're trapped back in, right? So I take it back all the way over here. So arrow down, right, stuffed, arrow down to the downside, down it rolls, arrow down to the downside. So you had lots of options that you could have picked from there to run that trade. Head and shoulders you could have used over here if you wanted to. There's lots of options at that point. But we're going to run the same idea. Here's the example of a trap where it was not an orthodox close. So the first one here, you take this trap. That's a stop, excuse me, that's New York lunch. Second trap, lifts. What did that look like over here? Okay, so if you look over here, this was your first entry, it stopped. Now if you look at your setup, right, I'm going to always say the best setup is going to be the arrow down with the purple bar, get the point of control above, that's the stop and the lift, right? And then if you look over here on this trap here, right, that occurred right over here. Here's the arrow down with the purple bar. There's the point of control above, and there you see the process of the late lift, right? So I want to point something out. On the 24, it's very hard to take the bar above the purple bar down with the arrow down. You have to do it on the 15 if you're doing it. These are all advanced setups. The basic setup is that's trapped, my stop is 20 points, size appropriately. That's the setup. Right now, in addition to that, mark off your 30-minute levels. When you get behind your 30-minute levels, those are the traps that are setting up for your trade. Prior day's high, prior day's low, etc., etc. But I will be able to guide. So there's two things that I did to step back that are important, right? So I have some critiques. It really went down bad between Matt and I and Nico and I. Okay, really bad. Okay, worst experience I've had in 14 years. Really bad experience. Okay? But what I have learned, right, even when you're pissed at somebody, you can learn from what they do. Okay? Nico, okay, has a strategy. So he already made money from Apex. So what he does is when they put him on sale, he buys 20 accounts at a time. He just blows them up till he gets them all qualified. That's his strategy. Sometimes he spends, who knows, $4,000 or $5,000 doing it, right? blow up, reset, blow up, reset. But I'll give the kid some credit. He pulled out $300,000 from them in one day across 20 accounts. Right? Now, how's he doing it? Right? So my mind always works to, let me find a setup, let me find more detail, let me find more interest, because that's interesting to me, right? So I like solving for X. I like solving for X, and I like making money, right? Some people like making money, some people like solving for X. Nico and those guys are completely uninterested in solving for X. They are in it for the money only, and that's a tough way to be in this business because there's some hard points in this market, right? Nico's number one criticism is, when he's sticking needles. So you can learn the most from people you dislike a lot, right? But his point was valid. His point was valid, which is you change up your setups too many times. Now here's where the pushback's going to come. Well, you're not giving us any new setups. Well, that's all right. I'll trade the new setups, and y'all can stay on point. Why? Because he's made the most money of anyone in this room. With that $300,000 day he had, he wins, right? Besides me, he wins. And I don't know everyone's P&L, but he wins. Right? Now, did he do it in a way that a lot of us won't do because we're older? Like, it wouldn't make sense if you make $20,000, right? And then, I have no idea why that just went off. I don't think I got a fill of any sort. Let me check. Let's check the magic button. See if I left an open order out there. I did not. Okay, good deal. I did not. Okay, so going back to my point, right? He's only trading Apex traps. So you'd be ignorant not to tell everyone else, hey, that's where all the money is, right? He doesn't want to know about anything else in the market. He just doesn't. Okay, he doesn't want to know about anything else in the market besides Apex traps. He doesn't know anything about the market. If you called him and asked him, hey, what do you think when we pierce below the prior day's low? What do you think when we trap back into the prior day's low? All that, he doesn't give a shit about it, right? And that's fine. And my criticism of him would be fine as well, except that he's pulled out so much money, and my job is to help y'all pull out the money. So, I can learn. Too many trade changes? Great. I'll only give those trade setups to those people who want them and can discern them and can execute them properly, and the rest of the time I'm just going to go like this. There's the arrow down, there's the trap, take it, let's work on your psychology while you're not pushing your trade. Why? It's working. That's how Joshua pulled out 250 points on Friday, right? So my way isn't always the best way. It isn't even the right way, right? My way is to go find what the next little edge is and push and push and push. But my brain also works very quickly I also go back to what works, and I'm very good at reading the price action, right? And not everyone is. So I'm trying to unlock. I am open to feedback, open to criticism, but all I want in this room is people pulling out $10,000 to $20,000 a month out of the room. That's all I care about, and everyone's capable of doing it on top of that. So why wouldn't we focus on that, right? It makes sense. So at any rate, very simple. The other part is where these traps tend to work independently of what's going on in the market. In other words, because it traps, it sets up in the right place. Now, where can you get in trouble with this? And you're gonna have to stay persistent. I suggest you study Friday from 10 a.m. to 10:09. It got pretty choppy right in there. Go look at your setup. I can already tell you, you took 2 stops and the third one finally paid you out, right? You took 2 stops, and here's the pain of this setup right here. That long did not set up. And that's what I mean by, okay, so if you look at this over here, this is where you had to trap. Right there. That's what had to trap, and it didn't set up. This, right, doesn't have an arrow. If you want to take it, that's fine, but the research I've done, I've gone back a lot, right, because Apex Trap isn't anything new. I've had it in the room for a long time, right, is that you can't tell when it's going to extend and not extend, and this is what I mean by that. Okay, so see over here, This is not valid. That one's not valid. This is valid. Okay. Orthodox closes above, closes back in, just gives you 10 points. Tweezer tops, stops you. Okay. This is now valid. So it's one stop. And then this is your entry. And then you had to let it come all the way back. So I already know what's going to happen. Someone's going to tell me, well, I closed it out because it looked like it was going to break out. It was already in a wedge up, right? But if you don't hold it, you don't get the payday there, right? Not only that, but here's what's going to happen next. Well, I didn't take this because I got stopped. I didn't take the second trade. And then this did not trap over here. And so I missed it. And so now I'm just angry and frustrated. I got stopped. I missed the 50 points or 60 points down. And then I missed the 100 points up. Okay? You're trading the market. You're not trading the setup. Okay? If this is important to you, I can already tell you how to trade this, right? Purple bar, arrow down, point of control above, and you need it to close back in over here. That's a valid setup. But I'm going to get the pushback, right? Too many setups, right? What am I focused on? So I'm focused on one thing. And if you stayed chilled through here, even if you missed the trade, let's say you took the stop and you missed the trade, here. You're going to set up right here and get paid just fine. Okay? You're going to set up right there and get paid just fine. And if you want the long, there's your long. It's 19,761. But you got to stay relaxed and go, I'm focused on finding the setup. Right? So, do I like doing this way? I don't, but I don't want to overwhelm y'all. Right? So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be taking trades that are not that apex trap. Okay? And I'm not going to call it out. Because here's the feedback I get, right? Okay, too many setups, too many trades, and I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I do know what I'm doing, right? And so I'm going to take the money when I see it. There's not enough compensation in the world to make me not take those trades. Outside of this market, just nothing pays as well as the market, right? But what I'll be highlighting and totally focused on is this set of trades, right? And if you follow that process, right? If you follow that process, we will have a bunch of happy people who get paid over and over again. That's a delayed trap, right? It's a delayed trap. You just had to know, and we all caught that, I think. You just had to know it was a delayed trap, right? Okay, Brian, I'm all right with that, but this main focus is still going to be the trap. And then everything, by the way, after the trap works better. Let me show you what I mean. Here, I'm going to highlight this. Okay, see, once you have the trap and you have the arrow down on the purple bar, you can use that as a 1-bar stop. There's a lot of options for taking a trade once it develops, right? Like, for example, I've been constantly drawing the line underneath these guys. I can't distribute this yet, right? But over and over again, those become important points for me, right? So I take, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I know I do. And I know I'm not ice cold when it comes to emotions. I work hard at getting people profitable, helping people get profitable. I want y'all to make money, right? And whatever's going on with this younger generation, or I'm out of step up with it, or whatever it is, I don't play like that. I don't like it, right? And so I want people to make money and not get confused. So the answer to everything is the super trap, right? The apex trap is good. The super trap is better. Have an arrow on the left. Let's go make some money. That's the answer. And I will be calling out the ES trades. The ES is on a 4 tick. The reason why is I can't get that arrow to set up properly on a 5 or 6. no matter what VIX I move to or what era or what size I move to. I'm still working on it. So if you want to trade a higher time frame on ES, that's fine. All you have to do is this. Okay, see how you have the arrow on the left side here? All you do is this, mark it off. Okay, and then go to your 5 or 6 tick or whatever you're trading and trade that. I will be trading that trade, obviously. I'd be crazy not to. On ES, I will be picking up a lot of ES trades, right? This is valid here if it traps. Doesn't trap, right? See if we have any. We had a couple of good trades in there on Friday. Not valid, not within the last 3 bars. This becomes valid. Let's see. Technically, nope, no apex, no apex, no apex. Apex, trapped, arrow down, stopped, long. This is valid. Just hit it on the hair of its chin, chin, chin. This is a stop. It's trapping back into this arrow over here. Unless you just scalped it out, I wouldn't suggest that because the trades are worth a lot of money. And this becomes pretty valuable here. 1, 2, 3. This is valid. I think this is valid if it trapped. So stop. So if you look at this, it's stop, trap, trap, go. Right? So I'll be letting those trailers come back on me. Okay? I'll be letting those trailers come back on me. Anyways, I care for all of y'all. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not. Okay? Well, no one that's in the room at least. Right? But I work hard to help people, and it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to figure these patterns out. A lot. Hours and hours and hours and hours to go through and then test it, then verify it and make sure it works. So we don't have to do that. The easy way is this, and let's just do it the easy way for a little while. And I'll point out and I'll say, hey, I'm doing this. If you want to follow, that's fine, I guess. And if you don't, I'm good with that too, right? But that's the trade I'm going to be taking. So that's my 2 and 3 cents. And I'm ready to have a great day. Any questions? I'm not even worried about the profile, quite frankly. I'm not even worried about the profile. I'll have it broken out so I can see where the 30-minute levels are, where the prior day's high and low are. But tomorrow's NVIDIA, I think. Is that right? 26th? Oh, Wednesday. Right? So, obviously I don't know, but you'd think if any company's going to smash earnings, it'd be NVIDIA. Right? At least everyone's going to be primed for it, for them to smash earnings. So let's see what they do. If anything, I have no idea about what the market wants to do other than it's very resilient to the upside right now. Right? So measure your trade correctly. That's all I gotta say. And again, some positive feedback on the videos on YouTube would be appreciated, because those guys did quite a whack job there, and I don't pay attention to the comments until I did, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to that. And there we are at 8:30 in the morning. This is the only trap I have available. Again, I'm not trading until after 9 o'clock. You're welcome to it if you'd like it. And here's the 30-minute levels. And that's a valid trap right there at 54. It's a 20-point stop. All right. So again, now that you've got the super trap here, a pull back in, push down, arrow up, etc., all of that would be valid for a long setup. Okay. So that was the orthodox close below, close back in, arrow down over here, trap, lift. Right. Now you're just working it out from there. Okay, so see how you got that pullback, right? Purple bar down, stuffed, lift after the super trap. That's what I'm discussing. Okay, I want to be clear, I am not mad at anyone in the room, right? I'm just frustrated in general. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I'll have to do better. But I will make a lot of money. You will too if you follow the process. Okay, does everyone see that? Super trap. Let it fly. Okay. Neither one of these qualify. No arrow up, no arrow up. I don't care whether it works. Now this is setting up, right? So then if I got a trap and I wanted to short, that would work as a trap, right? And ES has no weakness on it. So that was a 48 to 91, 50 points, right? A lot of points. And then we get to the point where all the sellers are done. Looking on that push down, look how the delta dried up. So see how that delta falls off like a rock, right? You get that on the short side too. It just falls off. And then you can look for your setups to the short side. Okay. Because where the unfair pricing is 56 and 21. This will be valid at IB high if it traps. Again, I'm not trading till after 9 o'clock, so it can do what it wants. Potential tweezer top there. Right back. There's nobody's there. Nobody in control. Top of unfair pricing. Bottom of unfair pricing covers a wide range, and there's just nobody there. That'll be a valid trap at 19,755 if you're willing to trade in the first half hour. $49's valid as well. 49 against 29 stop. On IB low. $49 is a valid entry. I would point it out in the coaching reviews if it trapped. And I did not. Let's do all the reloading and recalculating we need to do now. days. $43 still gets it. $43.50. Not anymore. You can't get it. No trade. And trend down. What a bummer of an open, huh? No crisp rotations. You get a close below that 1675 and trap back in, you might have a nice swing to the other side of the range. That was from Sunday night Globex low. Right? Back to the balance before the open. No super trap so far. And balance and chop. Here's your candidates. Not a candidate. Minor apex trap on ES on 4 tick. Again, all of this before 9 o'clock, 7 minutes till. No supernova. Supernova on the 15. And guys on YouTube, y'all get the idea. So if y'all like to join the room, just email me at tradingperform@gmail.com, and I am happy to help you.